champions, greatness. Why does everybody want to play for Real Madrid? White is a boring color. Black is better, purple is better, pink is better, blue is better. Blue. The Bernabeu isn't the greatest stadium in the world. Camp Nou is freaking better. Have you seen what the American now looks like? The old Deli Alpi, the freaking San Siro. Spain is high, but Spain isn't like the most coolest, amazing place in the world. So why do people want to play for Real Madrid? What is it about this club that makes them special? What is it about this club that makes them transcendent and different from any other club? It's the stage, the history, the psychology, the focus on winning, the focus on being the best, the focus on being those dudes. And Real Madrid have prided themselves on saying ever since the days of Di Stefano and so forth that no, this is what we have to be about. We have these European Cups, now these Champions Leagues. We cannot change the benchmark. And I think you can say all you want about Perez. You can say everything you want about Florentino Perez. Perez is a guy that I have to admire. Because I admire Perez because he's cutthroat and he's real. And he demands the very best. And that is why Perez is in the same kind of thing as Abramovich, where it's like, you know what? You come here, you got to win. If you don't win, you get sacked. There's no process. There's no time. No, let's help the academy players. Let's help the young Spanish talents. No. You come here to win. If you don't win, you get sacked. You lose your job. And I love that. I love it. It's amazing. I want to go back to the Galacticos. Because you say to yourself that, why were the Galacticos created? The Galacticos were created because it's like, you know what? We will have this amazing group of players. We'll win everything. And when we saw that team sheet of Zidane, Roberto Carlos, Luis Figo, Raul, Ronaldo, like, guys, it's a wrap. It's finished. These guys will win everything. But it comes to the beauty of football that just having amazing individual talent doesn't translate into having an amazing team. And then when you now look at the Ancelotti Zidane era, man for man, those guys were not touching that Real Madrid team. Okay, that has to be within a congregation of players. Has to be possibly one of the craziest lineups I've ever seen. Like, if you just tell me that a team has Roberto Carlos, Zidane, Ronaldo, Luis Figo, and Raul, I'm like, that's ridiculous. That's way too much individual talent on a club side. I don't think we've actually ever seen. But the Zidane and Ancelotti era were almost comparable, but the key is that this is a team. And the Champions League has always been a thing where we don't care who you are as an individual. We care about what you do as a team. Can you operate as a star-studded top-tier team to win this? Because remember, leagues are won by squads. Champions Leagues are won by teams. How strong is that first 11? Screw the freaking youngsters or the guys at the bench. Who can say what's up in the top? Because this is the elite competition. This is the big one. And by Real Madrid doing what they've done and their success in this competition shows you the level that this club operates at and why they should be arrogant. They have earned the right to be arrogant based on all of those CL trophies that you see in the trophy cabinet when you go to the Bernabeu. But things are different right now. Last year, Florentino Perez, he called me up to Monaco to having this function, and also crack my secretary said, yo, how Florentino Perez wants to see us. I said, me? Moi? C'est moi? He says, yes, he wants to see us. I said, why would Florentino Perez want to see me? I said, this was last year. And Perez, he comes, and then we sit and everything, and for some reason I swear to you, this is real, there was a moving cactus around. So I don't know whether I'd sniffed something or he puts a tablet into one of what's it called? Okay, he put one of those things into my drink. But I saw a moving cactus, and I saw a pelican sniffing glue. I swear to you, I don't know what it is, but it was weird. It was on a balcony. I think it was a fifth floor or something. I swear I saw in the sky a pelican sniffing glue. I don't know what it was. So and I didn't want to say, have you seen that? Because if he says, no, I don't see that, then I'd be really worried and we would probably never have the meeting. So I ignored the pelican sniffing glue in the sky, and then I said, Paris, what up, I'm here. Paris said, I have a problem. I was like, okay. Hazard. Dead silence. 2 minutes, none of us said anything. I stared at him, he stared at me. Like, have you seen like that, there's like a meme on Twitter, like that music talent show where you see P. Diddy staring at like one guy with like a coat or something? It was similar to that meme. He stared at me, I stared at him. 2 minutes, dead silence. Then I just said, what about Hazard? I can't repeat everything he said, so I'm just going to sort of paraphrase. But in short, the words used were overweight, waste of space, Belgian merchants, and he also said something that shocked me. And it was so crazy that I said, okay, Florentino, can you just pause and can I just call him? So we paused and I then picked up the phone. Because I've got a direct line into Eden Hazard. I said, Eden Hazard. And as I picked up the phone, I swear to you, the very first thing he said was, I'm pregnant. I didn't know how to react to that and so forth. So I left there, so forth. And then I walked to where Eden Hazard was and so forth. Came in, nobody was blocking in. And then as I went in, his stomach was about this big. And then I said to myself that, are you sure you're pregnant? He says, yes, I think I am pregnant. Then I said, men don't get pregnant. So sorry, I know this is a long-winded, but please bear with me, we're getting there. I said men don't get pregnant. The film Junior with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito was only a film. It wasn't real. He said, I swear, I think I'm pregnant. I can't play football. I've got to deliver this baby. So we rushed to the hospital, crazy stuff and everything, and then the doctors are panicking. And then the doctor then says to me that he's not pregnant. He's overweight and he's eating too much. Hence why his stomach has bloated. And they found out that 80% of his body is made out of Belgian waffles. I panicked. I went crazy. And this is where I had a tete-a-tete with Hazard. And I said, Hazard, do you remember World Cup 2018? He was muffling something and then because he was going for this kind of double custard whipped cream thingy, and then I had to pretty much whip his hand off, and then we basically had to tie his hands back and so forth, so he couldn't use his hands to grab any of the donuts around them. Then I said to him, look, bro, do you realize your importance? Do you realize what you could do? And as I was explaining the World Cup 2018, his goal against West Ham, what he did in the European final, all these things, I could just see in his eyes that it wasn't really registering. And this is a story that I haven't shared because I didn't want to share this story because I wanted to go through. But when I looked into his eyes, I saw a man that lost all belief in himself. Completely all belief in himself and had no desire. And it is when I saw that I knew that, okay, oopsie daisy. So as I left there, I put that story behind me, and this is the first time I'm sharing that story with you guys. The first time I'm sharing my story with you guys, but I thought, because I was just holding on to that for a long time, I felt this is the right time to share that story with you. Take with that what you may. So moving forth now, Real Madrid are in a state of predicament, had a lot of injuries. Very few people are fit. Sergio Ramos, is he staying, is he going? He's having surgery. He's not even going to be available. And there is this feeling that if Real Madrid don't win the Champions League or they get knocked out in this game, Zidane loses his job. I called up Zidane about two nights ago. First thing I said to you is that you're one of my idols. And you're a horseman. And he wanted to respond. I said, no, Zidane, shut up. I actually told Zidane to shut up. I was like, oh, jeez. But I said, Zidane, shut up. You're my idol, you're a horseman, you're one of the greats. Nothing will ever change the legacy, and you won 3 seals in a row as a coach. Nothing will ever change that. Ever. But then I told him that Florentino Perez is not taking any of my calls. I left about 50 texts, but I told Perez that don't you dare sack a horseman. Mutual agreement, don't you dare sack a horseman. And Zidane said to me that he ain't getting sacked. But he also said that he's not walking away. I ended the call. So guys, I am in a state of flux, a state of deliberation, because we are fighting with 2 schools of thought. 2021, what you are now, and the mystique. 2021, Real Madrid are not winning the freaking Champions League. They don't have the players. You've seen how much Cristiano has been missed. These players are past their peak. It ain't 2016, 2017, 2018 and anymore. They're still good, they're still talented, but they cannot give you what they gave you for those 3 years. They simply cannot. And there are just far too many better teams ready to take them out. They could very well be taken out in the round of 16. It could very well happen because the team they're playing are licking their lips and they could take them out and really put the final sledgehammer into this iteration of this team. And some Real Madrid fans will say, maybe that's what's this means. That, sometimes you need to bleed to heal. That's my saying. That is saying. You need to bleed to heal. So sometimes, maybe this is the best thing to happen for Real Madrid is if they get knocked out now in the most embarrassing fashion, and it forces Perez's hands to say, Cruz, Modric, Casemiro, Marcelo, Benzema, it was a great run. A superb run. Thanks. We have to rebrand. Now, you don't want to just do it like that. You still want to keep a few players, but it's now time to aggressively bring in the new blood into Real Madrid. But then the other argument is the mystique. That badge means something. The club means something. And don't underestimate the psyche that a football player has when combined with who they are playing for. And don't underestimate the feeling you get psychologically when you put on a certain jersey. Not all jerseys weigh the same. See, only if you've played football, football, will you realize that no, different jerseys weigh differently. That Brazil jersey weighs a lot. A lot. That Real Madrid jersey weighs a lot. You feel it's like a ton of freaking anvils upon you. It's a mean sign. A mean sign. So, you say to yourselves, wait till they do. Wait till they do. If you're playing for Real Madrid and you want to come on so because our pitch. It is hard for me to give a compelling argument for why Real Madrid can win the Champions League. Because Zidane was manager last year and they got knocked out by Man City. But football is a crazy sport. And Zidane has shown that he's been touched by the football gods. Very few people have. But Zidane is one of the few people that have been touched by the football gods. And a Real Madrid who you bet against, bank against, underestimate, undermine, could be very dangerous. Because we have seen many times when we thought Real Madrid were well undone, good and out, and they come back. People said they wouldn't get through the group stages. I remember I was viewing it and saying, "Bram, gosh, Real Madrid are not going to make it through the groups." The pressure was on. Massive pressure was on just for the integrity of the club. They did what had to be done. So we know that these are players who, with their experience and their personality, thrive on the pressure, welcome the pressure. Can they make one true last dance? Shout out to Michael Jordan. I took it personally. Because many people say that the last dance was 2018. But maybe Zidane says, no, there's one last roll of the dice. Give me one last roll of the dice. Many people say, no, Zidane, bring in the youth. Bring in the young guys. You are holding on to these guys for far too long. They're done. They're finished. The responsibility of the manager is to be able to evolve and move forward. But maybe say, there's one last trick up my sleeve. One last trick up my sleeve. I don't even want to know what to say if Real Madrid do this, because I'm already assuming they won't. But if Real Madrid, or rather if Zidane figures out a way of winning a fourth Champions League, specifically with this team that everybody says is finished, that is a whole level of doubt and unexpectedness that we've never ever seen. So, my dear friend Zizou, the ball is in your court. So if you win this CL, this one's for the haters. It's like, what? It's for the haters. Become a Patreon member. Get access to my blog. Get access to exclusive videos. And also get access to the podcast, to the Saturday and the Sunday hangouts. Head over to patreon.com/halfwop to gain all these goodies while also supporting your boy HH.